So I am a get rich or die trying kind of person. Like, people don't know is that this insurance agent is actually a student of literature, consistency in business. Just wake up, press, repeat. Wake up, press, repeat. It was a very desperate kind of selling. It was, do you have a car? I can give you motor insurance. When is your motor insurance expiring? You know? Like, you're literally walking into maybe an IKEA shop, introducing yourself. So you have your cards, you're well dressed, you know, you're polite. So you're thinking, this has to go well. You know, my first few months of being on social media, I was the clumsiest person ever. I would be on a Facebook Live, and out of nowhere, my camera would drop because maybe it's even being supported by my books. You know, my mom was, you know, she would come and comment, "Hi, Mama Bima, you're the best insurance agent in Kenya. I am coming back to buy another insurance policy." And I kept telling her, "Hi, Mommy."
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching us from, and welcome back to yet another episode of Unprepared to Entrepreneur, the channel where we talk about the real, raw, and often untold stories of entrepreneurship. I host fellow entrepreneurs, and like I actually always say after each episode, this feels like a therapy session because it is. I'm able to gather some courage to keep going after I see just how much they've overcome. So today I have really Mama Bima. I have a really exciting guest, and I can't wait to hear from her, learn from her. It's an honor that you said yes to my invitation. And in fact, we were joking and I was telling her, the one thing, I have so much respect for people who sell insurance, because oh my god, if you are the top of the list when it comes to resilience. I don't think I have ever met any more resilient folks than the people who sell insurance. Now, to sell insurance successfully and build a brand over and above that, me, I'm in awe. And I'm so excited.
Yes.
Karibu sana.
Asante sana.
How are you?
I'm good.
You're looking nice.
Thank you. Thank you, Anne. And I'm happy to be here with you.
Thank you so much for coming.
I love the fact that you say, but I am the go-to person. If you want someone to say yes to you, whether it's for a drink cup, you know, like you want to just grab a cup of coffee, just want to go and just speak to someone, I'm that person. I'm your go-to person.
You're joking, because you know when you open the door, I just walk in. And kwanza you told me you're my neighbor.
I'm just behind here.
You're right here. You're my neighbor. So I have a feeling we're going to be very good friends.
Yes.
Thank you so much for coming to the show.
And thank you for inviting me.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So maybe you can introduce yourself.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Charlene Kimara. You may call me Mama Bima Kenya. And I'm an insurance agent, an insurance entrepreneur, a co-partner at Plessis Insurance Agency, and also an insurance educator. So I'm taking that gap. This is almost like a passion project for me, like the educating part of the business. If you follow me on any of my platforms, and if you don't, I encourage you to. I love to use my social media platforms to just educate people on insurance literacy, because I feel it's one of those fields where there's so much misinformation. You get, and also very little information out there. So I like to use my platforms, come learn something new. Even if you're not buying Nisawa to Kunya, you learn, then you go buy from your favorite agent.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes, yes.
How did you think to call yourself Mama Bima? How did it come about?
You know what?
First, I think it's genius.
I know, right? So
I think it's genius.
What people don't know is that this insurance agent is actually a student of literature. and communication. That's what I did in Campo, by the way. I did a double major in Lit and communication. Nami Simchache, I graduated top of my class.
Yes.
Even the faculty, like at the University of Nairobi, they were convinced I was going to join like the faculty of Lit. Like I was, maybe at the point, my career trajectory looked like I was going to be a lecturer or something.
Oh, I see.
You know, because even the university sponsored me to go to Japan for 1 year. The Department of Literature sent me to Japan for a year, an exchange program after I was done with my 4 years. But life happened and I found myself here. So yes, when it comes to coining names, coining maybe slogans, I have something, you know, because I was meant to be the next Ngugi wa Thiong'o, so it's still there.
I see. Oh, I see how that came about.
Yes.
Mama Bima is genius.
I love it.
Genius.
You know, when I was thinking of, we had gone through a process of trying to do our marketing and pushing the brand for our agency. So the name for our agency, we are called Plessis Insurance Agency. So it's a French term that means an interlinked fence. So there was this thing of, anytime I tell someone places, they'd always ask me, places, play who?
Yes.
So, and we had you'll get to see the other genius side of me, my husband. He had really gone, you know, to get this name. And we got to a point where we sat down and we realized also trying to push a faceless brand is kind of difficult.
It's very difficult.
So we decided, actually we sat down and decided, you know, why don't I become the face of the agency? And we were like, so what name do I use? Do I go out there as Charlene Kimara? Plessis, or can I come up with a term that when you hear it, you know, you can relate, you can literally tell.
It's sticky.
It has a connotation.
You know exactly what it means. You know exactly what that person represents. It has everything. That's why I'm saying it's genius.
Yes. And putting in the name Mama was coming into an industry where there's maybe just so much mistrust, you get, where you're talking to someone and they're thinking, are you trying to take advantage of me, you know? So, of course, I felt the name Mama gives you this feeling of trust. You know, someone you can rely on.
Like, yes.
So, Mama and Bima. Bima is insurance in Swahili, so yeah.
Wow.
I think we struck gold with that.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I can't wait to maybe also get into like your failure season, because when you're coining these names and you're starting, you know, there's excitement. You're looking forward to the future, and the future is looking bright.
Yes.
Before you start, and we all know it's never linear. There are ups and downs. So I can't wait to hear about the challenges that you've faced and overcome. And I hope my audience can learn a thing or two. But before we even get to that, there's this segment we talk about what my business journey has taught me lately. This is not a recent sort of like lesson, but it's one that I keep referring to often. I am only in control of the outcome, of the input, sorry.
Okay.
I'm in control of the input. The output will be whatever the output is going to be. However, if you really focus on the output, you channel so much energy to that output that has not happened yet, and it robs you of time, energy, money, focus to focus on your input that could potentially give you the output you're seeking.
Okay. Yes. So love that.
And it's the small things, it's the big things. But if you focus on what your day to day, what do you need to do today? What is within your control today? Do that. Then the output will be whatever the output will be. It could be success, it could be failure. If it's failure, take the lesson, again, apply to your input, and then the output will be whatever the output will be. Like, release it. It's like, don't hold it too close. Because also when you hold it too close, the moment you fail, you fall so hard, and getting back up sometimes like becomes a challenge. That's what it's something like I apply constantly, almost on a daily.
Okay. You want me to go with
Yeah.
mine? I would say mine, you've just mentioned it, consistency in business. Oof, just wake up, press, repeat. Wake up, press, repeat. Let me tell you one thing. I'm not the most brilliant in a room. Even in in college, you should have seen who was in my class. You know, our literature class, I had the most brilliant classmates. You know, you're talking of the likes of Silas Nyanchwani, David Osiani, the former cast, Caroline, the health coach, Caroline Nganga. Like, the people who are in that lit class, how can I call them? Like, everyone was like an outlier.
Yeah.
But the one thing about me is just how consistently I do my things. Like I put in a lot of hard work in whatever I do. For me, the lessons that I have really, something that I use as what has gotten me here today, even in business, is just that consistency. You can count on me. I'm the kind, if it's, by that 4 a.m., I'm there nimeamka. Irrespective of whatever time nililala, you get, I'm up doing my daily routine, my morning routine. I'm out if I need to be out of the house by that 6:15. I'm out and I just press, repeat. My colleagues, our team now is growing at the agency. And when everyone else is booking in their leave days, they always ask me, Charlene, no, and I'm the one employee,
who doesn't take leave.
How can an entrepreneur take leave? At what point do you take leave?
You take short breaks.
It
could be half a day.
Yeah.
but yeah, short breaks.
That's our version of, leave. But yes, I think since we are really in the formidable years of just building the business, the one thing that keeps us going is just that consistency, putting in, the hard work, and just waking up every day and pressing repeat. And what that does for you is that it really sharpens you. It sharpens your skills. There's something you did yesterday and you failed.
You didn't do so well.
Or you didn't do as well. And today you just polish it up.
True.
So there are all these lessons that you're taking into the next day with, today you're better than you were yesterday. So as long as you're striving to just better
1%,
yourself.
It's that 1% daily. 1%, just do 1% better than you did yesterday.
Yes.
Yeah.
So eventually you start realizing, oh my, I'm actually becoming really good at this.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I really do agree with you. The first episode we shot here,
yes,
it never aired.
Yes. Yes.
It never aired. The audio was a mess.
Oh no.
We had so many challenges, so we couldn't put it on. Like, what?
Did you
I just
shoot
called
again?
my guest and I'm like, I am so sorry. And you can imagine how much time you've put aside to show up.
Yes.
But then the second one, we had learned the lessons from the first one.
Yes.
And we continued to do so. So by the time we're getting to our 100th,
yes,
I'm sure this will be quite something.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. I quite agree with you.
Yes.
Yeah. So now before we go into your failures,
yes.
How was your experience? Because I know there are many, I just have to ask this question because there are many people who are listening in who are probably just starting their insurance agency journey. I can't lie, it's difficult.
Yes.
It's even more difficult for people who are selling insurance.
Yes.
How did you start? How was it for you? Give us the real. How was it for you?
So now, I think I need to mention something. So I am a get rich or die trying kind of person. And I probably grew up in a very, poor background. Like I come from, those ones you call economically challenged backgrounds.
The guys they refer to.
So if on Christmas Day the entire village was eating chapatis, that Christmas Day maybe you didn't even have lunch. You get the jioni, kuna githeri kidogo mtakula. You get, that's almost like, sorry, that has made me a little emotional. But
no, I get it. No, I get it.
So for me, like I have to, I'm at a point where even when I embark on something, I go all in, and I really go in to, I expect the struggles. Like, struggles are not even, like, I don't flinch.
No. I kind of get what you're saying.
You get,
yeah.
like, I have never really had a soft landing in my life.
Yeah.
My mentality is that of actually get rich or die trying, really. I've never really had a soft landing in life. So I'm actually a hard nut, like, even like I'm the kind that just keeps going. And even if I face, even when I'm placed like against it's called, you're against like a hard rock and God knows what, and a wall.
When you're rock bottom and then you find there's a basement to the rock bottom, like there's basement 1.
Yes,
you're like, Sawa, we are here.
We are here. I just need, and I know no one is coming to save me. So I have to do it on my own to literally get out of there. Oh. So for me, when I came into the industry, I was coming from a professional background in investments. So my very first career was in a stock brokerage firm. Then I moved on to a fund management company, and my last formal employment was in an investment bank. So I was a manager, okay? And sort of like a tier 2 kind of manager. So it was still, if the senior most in rank was like a level F. From A, I was a B. So you'd say just starting in management. The pay was pretty decent. By the time I was leaving formal employment, I was earning about 191K. But I sat down and I realized I was going nowhere. I had spent 3 years in that company, and my income had only grown by 16K, okay, within those 3 years. And I was like, and of course the environment was also not too conducive. I was a new mom, my baby had just turned 1. And I just, the way you sit down, you're looking at your current expenses, you're looking at everyone you're taking care of, and you're looking at this new baby who's come here and the life you envision for her. And you're like, I know this 191K of mine will not hack it, okay? So I knew I needed to make a change, and a drastic change. That meant me leaving my payslip behind and starting from zero, because let me tell you guys, this business of ours is purely commission-based. Nobody even gives you 10K. You get, so I knew, so fortunately I was married. I got married to an insurance agent along the way. So,
hi Joey.
So I really admired. I admired my husband, his colleagues. I would see like some of the things they've been able to do, this, I would look at the girls in the company where he was mainly placing business with at the time. And, some of those girls were driving TXs. You guys, na mimi nimekaa pale mbele ya Super Metro. I'm like, something is amiss. You mean these courageous girls are driving, Mercedes Benzes, Prados, and
they're living the life you dream of.
You dream of, and you realize the difference is that this girl is brave enough, to wake up every day and go sell. I had never been in a sales role. The entire time. Yes, the entire time I was in the
deep waters,
and in customer experience. So I had never really properly done a sales job. But I realized there was something very special about selling, and just what I needed was that, courage, that leap of faith, and decide to go all in. So we sat down. I had been proposing to my husband for a while that I was keen.
Softening.
You take care of us.
Yes.
Because now that
means all of us.
Yes, because that's an income out of the house.
Yes.
And of course there are all these costs, whether it's transport, your logistics, how will you get to the clients, and back home. So by the time I was coming into the industry, I'll tell you for sure, I was quite fortunate, because I like to say my husband, Joe, is literally an encyclopedia of this insurance industry. He understands the industry in out. He understands the different underwriters. He understands the different products that are offered. So I had that kind of, like I had someone to really handhold me and mentor me in the business. But no one had prepared me to zero income kind of, that humbles you.
It's end of the month, you've not made any sales, so you don't eat, you don't get to eat.
Like it's end month, you are used to maybe your 91K with all the deductions, maybe it comes, my net used to be about 128. I had I had quite a heavy deductions. But you would have your 128 and you would plan for it. And month one, after you're out, there's literally nothing.
There's nothing, zero.
You get, and you have been running. So we used to live in Kino, okay? But our office has always been here along Chaka Road in Kilimani. So you've come like for a whole month, okay? You've been up and down all these streets, talking to anyone who cares to give you some 5 minutes. And you feel you've gone for a whole month and you've not done a sale. You get, like you can't talk of having any new business. So that was a very humbling experience.
Humbling, yes.
But
How are you selling?
How was I selling?
That month one. Because I am sure the way you're selling today is different.
Yes.
How are you selling at month one? Because I think it'll be important for the audience between that sort of transition, how you were selling and how you're selling today, and what's the difference?
It was a very desperate kind of selling. It was not even a needs-based kind of selling. It was, do you have a car? I can give you motor insurance. When is your motor insurance expiring? You know, like I was just looking, do you have medical insurance? I'm an insurance agent. My name is Charlene, I think it was a very, I had never been in a sales
survival mode.
I was on survival mode, you guys.
Just desperately wanted a sale.
Yes.
But that's not how the world works.
Yes.
The world doesn't care about your needs.
Yes.
The other people, me and Leon and whoever next you speak to, care about what's in it for me, not what is in it for you. And I think that's where, and I've been there, that's how I recognize it. I've been there where you're selling, you just want to sell because you need the money.
Let me tell you the first sale that I almost closed, that is the word. So we met at, what's this place that sells sandwiches? There used to be one along, no. There used to be one along Kenyatta Avenue, and they're at the junction. The name is escaping me. Because I can't remember. No, okay. So we go to this shop, to this restaurant, and I'd been talking to this gentleman. So he had agreed to give me his motor policy, and taking the forms, from underwriter, let's say just X, and he comes. We do the paperwork. Then he tells me he just wants to dash out. He'll be back to make the payments and all.
This is motor insurance.
Yes, motor insurance. So I'm very excited. My God. Then he calls me and he tells me, so this is after I had gotten him the quotes. I had brought the form from the underwriter to fill. Then he calls me and he tells me that he has a friend who works at company X and he's just decided to give them the business.
Yes.
Let me tell you, have you ever cried? Oh my God, I cried. I cried in that restaurant.
It breaks you. Was that like your closest fast sale?
That was my closest fast sale.
Oh yeah.
Like unassisted, like that was me going and telling him this is how we calculate. I can add for you an excess protector. I can do for you like, what? That guy played me. I wish you can watch this and remember that kind of story and realize, oh, we eventually made it, but that was so tough. But I think I'm the kind, that thing will hit you hard, but you get home, you reset, and tomorrow morning you wake up and go look for your your actual first sale.
You cry, you let it out. You are like, how much were you expecting from it in terms of your percentage?
Sure. I mean, maybe it was even going to pay me about 3,000 bob in commission at the end of the month.
But it's 3,000 that you earned yourself.
So if the premium was going to be, say, 35, I was maybe going to take home about 3,000 bob.
Yeah.
But that would have meant the world. Like, it was going to be such, it may look small in comparison to what my last income had been.
Yes.
But it was going to be a sign that this is finally going to be your thing. Like, you're going to be able to do things.
I am feeling you. Yeah. I can completely relate.
Yes.
Because that is sort of like, it's a confirmation that you're on the right track.
Yes.
But when you're right there in the thick of it, and you're crying and feeling bad that you didn't get that sale.
Yes.
For me, I wake up the next morning and I'm like, I almost got it. So there is still progress.
Yes.
You get me? I celebrate everything. I find something to celebrate.
Yes.
Anything that I can be like, okay, I have now moved from 0.1, I'm at 1.1.
Yes.
It's okay.
Yes.
The next one. So then it's sort of like you ask yourself, why did this happen? Why didn't they trust me? Why did they trust their friend more?
Yes.
Then you're like, you see the thing we were talking about, consistency, showing up 1% better.
Yes.
So what did you do the next day?
Now,
after crying now?
After you sit down, and of course at first you're very angry, then maybe you start looking at, could my gap maybe be a knowledge gap? Do you get? Maybe because he was able to pick a few of those things, because maybe when we would be talking on phone, I was being assisted maybe by my husband on this other side. He would even gesture, like a gesture, mouth gesture for me, or to respond. But maybe when you're finally seated across the client, they realize, oh my God, this is a newbie in the business. Like, this is a total rookie.
Yes.
And of course, maybe he didn't get the confidence that when faced maybe with a claim, I would be able to handle that.
I understand.
So when I went through that, I think it was a challenge for me to really bulk up on my,
your knowledge.
Product knowledge. It definitely took time, I must say, especially for people getting into the business, new agents. I would say I started feeling really confident about my product knowledge maybe 2 years in. And these were 2 intensive years of learning. So the one thing about me is I love to learn, by the way. I hear company, why has, a training on travel insurance, you will find me there. I'll be, plugged in virtually. Yes. I'll be in that call. I'll be taking notes. Okay. I hear company Z is doing, maybe a training on this. You'll find me there. A compliance training, you'll find me there.
Yes.
I just believe in, I'm a sponge, and I believe in absorbing as much as I can.
As much as you can.
But maybe by the 2nd year mark, I started getting to a point where, you sit down with a client for a consultation, and they're telling you, hey, I have this policy with company W, and I'm there, oh, yes, I know that product. So you're expecting payments in 6 annual bonuses and 1 final payout, and you can already even see from the client, they're like, oh, wow, you understand.
You know your stuff.
Like you're good, So I would say from the 2nd year mark, I was starting to feel very confident. I've scanned the entire market.
Yes.
I understand what really stands out.
Yes.
From the different underwriters.
Yeah.
I've already also mapped the different companies as per, their strength, like who's good in general insurance, who's better in medical, who's better in life, who's maybe the best when it comes to estate planning and so on.
Yeah. So basically you just, understanding your product, you have to understand your product, because that's the only way you understand what value it delivers to your customer.
Yes.
So that you stop selling for the sake of selling.
Yes.
Now you're selling to deliver. You're not even selling. You're delivering value to your potential prospecting customers. And so when they sit with you, it's not about, I want you to buy now.
Yes.
There's something you say that I quite like. You said now you are educating.
Yes.
Now, me and you know that's a form of selling without actually selling.
Yes.
Because most of the people who do the hard sales, that's why people are always running away from insurance people. I saw your video.
Please stop running away from us. Stop running away from us. Yes.
She'll ask you, do you have a motor vehicle? I can send you insurance.
Yes.
You're like, I already have insurance.
Yes.
Now every time you see Charlene, you change direction. You know, walk the other way because you don't have this conversation, because all Charlene wants is to sell you something. Whether you need it is neither here nor there. They want to sell you. And I think that's where now it becomes a challenge, and Charlene had to go to Mama Bima, who now solves problems and gives their customer value.
Yes. Yeah. And this reminds me, I do mentor a lot of new agents in the business, especially on the life insurance side. And actually last evening, one of my mentees, so in the initial sort of like months of the business, I'll come in, I'll sit in through your presentation, and where I can help, I'll chime in, okay? So last evening, one of my mentees called me to do a presentation to her cousin and the spouse. And you could tell she went in, locked in, like, we are selling an education policy. Do you get it? So we started with the needs analysis, and we realized these people did not need
an education
policy. Actually, their key need was actually retirement planning. And of course, we have a very good conversation around, you know, pension and everything and how to get started. And at the very end, my mentee is still like, and now about the endowment plan. Yeah. And the cousin is literally pushing back and saying, that will be a hard sell for me. Yeah. You get. And, you know, she kept pushing, no, you know, you need it. And I think it was, fortunately, I was happy that we were in a safe space, even for her. Yes. Okay, because that's also family. You know, they also want to support. They want to support. But even as we looked at how the presentation went after, we realized, by the way, there was an opportunity within that family for income protection. But first, let us first solve the need, the priority need for the client. Okay, so we've already established that the gentleman's individual pension is at an underperforming scheme. So could we get him to where he's optimized? Yes. So there's already an opportunity for you now to have him within your portfolio. You're able to transfer that pension for him to a high-performing scheme. Yes. Also, the spouse, her pension provided by the employer is a global scheme. So she's also interested in having a local IPP, you know, where she can be self-funding. Yes. So first set that up. Don't chase, stop chasing people, you know, and hunting them down for business. Let's first solve,
customers, can feel when you actually care about giving value to them. They can tell. At least I know I can tell. I can tell when you're just coming and you just want me to buy whatever. It doesn't even matter what it is, just buy something. And I can also tell when you're listening to me, listening to my needs, understanding where I'm at in life, and giving me a product that sort of aligns to where I am.
True. And I think even by the end of the conversation, we started appreciating that. Let me first take what clearly is a need. Let me first solve this. We offer a solution for this. Then now later, because the one thing I like to tell new agents, don't be in a hurry. When you start working with your clients in this protection journey, it's a very long-term kind of relationship. Oh, I have a story for you. Yes. So when I was starting, my richest uncle, if I may say that, he's not even like a blood relation, but it's the kind of uncle where your parents tell you he was in our lineup when we were getting married, that kind of uncle. I see. Very wealthy. He had these big businesses in Zimmerman. So I decided, where am I going to get business?
My uncle.
Yeah, like he's wealthy. He's a businessman. I'm going to sell to him everything, education plan, motor insurance, Mercedes Kwanza. I was set. So I go all the way. I go to Zima. I wait for Uncle to come. So he gets there, we go into his office and we talk, and I tell him now I'm doing insurance business. Then he drops the bomb on me. He had been working with his insurance agent from 1982.
Now what?
And genuinely, when now I sit back and reflect, I remember Uncle taking me back home in Ruiru. So he drove me in that super slick Mercedes of his. He drove me back home. But I was so hurt.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't believe
you could not understand why he's not supporting you.
Like,
the way you're working so hard.
Yes.
This world is brutal.
Like, what is this? You know, like I'm about, why can't you buy, you know, into my potential? Can't you see?
Can't you see?
The agent
that you're crying.
You know, so don't worry about my tears, but then me, I'm one of those people. We could have a cry fest.
No, but
really,
I get, you know, at that, hey, let me tell you, when you're in a tight spot, when you're in a really, really tight spot, and you have this product and you're thinking, Uncle is the only one who can get me out of this situation.
Yes.
And you go to Uncle and Uncle doesn't help you.
And you can see the car is there. You just want him to tell you that it's due for renewal in October. And because you're my niece, come October, I will snatch this business from my...
I can relate. That's how you feel when you're starting out.
Yes.
The truth of the matter is, you are either offering value, it's business. Even when it's family or friends, it's business. I have my friends that I buy cake from them. I expect good cake delivered to wherever I want it delivered. Quality is good. It's not a favor. It is business. And you know what? I've learned to be okay with it.
Yes.
I've learned to be okay with those who support or don't support. If you don't support today and next year you think, for example, I've invited friends on this podcast. I don't send them back.
Wanakuja episode 50, usijali, they're watching.
Exactly. I've invited them, and you know, some will be like, absolutely, and I'll come. Others will be like, I'll come, and then they don't come. Others will be like, oh, you know, I'm not ready, yada yada, whatever. But it's because my channel is young. And it's okay. I know we will catch up. It's okay.
Episode 50.
Episode 50, right?
They're coming.
So it's okay. Although it takes some lessons. It takes you being in that situation for a while for you then to begin to understand and not hold it so close to your heart. You can support me or not. It's fine. But let me tell you, the people who go all out on you. Strangers. People you've never met, you've never spoken, but the day you partner like this, they're like, I get you. I understand this thing. In fact, I need, they sign the next day.
For me, it's been Kenyan women, Kenyan moms. Let me tell you, you know, favor women. Yani, if I were to write an ode to the Kenyan women, I don't know. It will be a never-ending song, and it's something we say with my husband. Like, literally, our business has been anchored by ladies. These ladies, like, from social media, they expect, like, they just want, give me good service, help me get the best solution. If it's a medical cover for my child, I just want that confidence that by the time we arrive at option 1, we have seen options from like 4 underwriters, and now you have taken me through this, you've not rushed me through the process. I understand the core payment schedule, I understand the hospitals I'll access, the specialists we can see, and they will come through, they will bring their friends. They will call you to their organizations to even talk to their colleagues.
Referrals. Strangers.
Someone will be in, you know, HR, and the next minute is, hey, Mama Bima, you helped me with my younger brother's insurance. Our company is looking for group medical cover. And you're like,
music to your ears.
You're like, what?
Our company is looking for a medical cover.
And Sahizo, what you helped them get was like a cover for like 24K. You know, someone would have easily
brushed it off.
Even an agent would have easily said, let me go sell a much higher premium kind of cover.
Yeah, in an waste your time.
But because of the way you took them, you know, through that process, slowly had a meeting like with the entire family to come in virtually to understand this budget policy. She's never forgotten you. That when now they are due to renew, she comes and she says, this is what we have currently. Yeah. Can you get me
a higher one? Better? Something better.
For the group. Yes. You know, so strangers, honestly.
The thing about networking that I've come to learn is, you see, we've met today, right?
Yes.
Tomorrow, we are always growing and evolving.
Yes.
So if we click today and we, you know, whether I buy or not, you know, first of all, I feel like we go back to my first recent lesson, right?
Yes.
Don't be too held up with the outcome or output.
Yes.
Look at your input, right? What you're putting in, right?
Yes.
Today, we have had a conversation. Today, maybe my salary is 50,000. I can only afford whatever, 15K cover.
Yes.
And it will probably just be inpatient only, and it's okay. Tomorrow, my salary will not be 50,000. It's going to be, let's say, 200,000.
Yes.
And we will have a different conversation. So sometimes people think networking is going to find those people who've made it.
Yes.
They forget about their peers, the guys who are at the same level as you and the ones who are even below you.
Yes.
That is still networking.
Yes.
Because over time, it translates.
Yes.
And especially for insurance.
And you see, for that young mom, whom you're able to get her a solution for her child for about 18,000, and she goes, you know, she calls you on a Saturday now when they're being discharged from hospital, and she's telling you, like, our bill was 100 and something. Aki Mama Bima wamelipa kila kitu, I've not had to pay a shilling. Let me tell you, that young 20-something-year-old mom, do you know that is a relationship you can literally walk with that client for the rest, literally, of your career,
for the rest of her life.
This entrepreneurial journey.
That is so true.
Yeah. And it's the same thing. It's what I went and found my uncle at a point now where he has blown up, you know.
Yes.
But there was that agent who started with him probably when he didn't even have the cars that I was seeing at that point. Yeah. And it was very hard to drop that guy. You know, because that's not just an agent. That's his risk specialist. He understands him as an individual, as a family man, as a businessman. You get. He understands the business in and out. Probably at that point, even if my uncle had asked me, so what kind of policies will you get us? I would have just floated. Do you get? I wouldn't even.
You had not even done the work that you needed to do to become.
It was just
Mama Bima you are today.
At that point.
It was just entitlement.
It was entitlement,
right? Yes. Most of us are angry at our family members for not supporting us.
Yes. Because
we feel like we're entitled to their support, but truly, you've not earned it yet.
Yes, I hadn't earned it, and now I understand that. Yeah, so. Would we call those lost tears? What are the tears that I did? Once I got home.
The feelings are real.
Yeah.
Because at that time you don't know what you don't know. You know, it's a journey and it's not linear. So it has its own ups and downs. So it's what I've had to really shift my mindset completely from an employee to an entrepreneur. It's like a complete shift. The way you things work when you're employed is not the same way they work when you're an entrepreneur. And so sometimes that shift takes some time. It takes some time to understand the market. It takes some time to understand all your customer segments. It takes some time to understand all your products. It takes time. But you, day one, you want to sell.
Yes.
And you want your uncle to buy.
Yes, and you want to replace your 191K income. Like you want, remember, there's already a standard that had been set. So you still a manager. You know, I was a manager. I was earning 191K.
Yes. So you're quickly looking to replace that one.
The hopelessness that you feel when you realize I've not made anything, this month.
Yeah.
And I still have to literally go back to Joe for literally everything. My hair,
Everything.
Yeah.
And you're used to taking care of at least some of those bills.
Yes.
Yeah. So how long did it take you from losing that almost, how do we now even phrase this? Because you didn't lose it, you just didn't get it.
Yes.
But it was a loss. It felt like a loss.
Yes.
Of 3,000 shillings in commission. Waka, you laugh when you think about it today, right? Mm-hmm. So do you still cry when you lose such commissions, or how have you evolved over time? We talked about product knowledge,
yes,
a little bit of that, but can you tell us more about how managing and handling the market has evolved?
The truth is, a loss is still a loss, because I'm very passionate. So when I put my all into something, anytime I'm doing a consultation with a client, I immerse myself.
Yeah.
And sometimes you'll just sit down and you're like, okay, here imeenda. So of course, let's be honest, the wins will definitely outweigh the losses. And even when you lose, or when you get a no from a client, no, in our business we say it just stands for next opportunity. So you just keep moving, right? Yes.
You hear no so many times, eh?
Maybe not as much nowadays.
Now not as much. Then maybe.
Yeah, then the no's were definitely many. Mm-hmm. Now, the peculiar thing about Kenyans, they don't like to tell you no. They tell you no in different. they have different ways of telling you no. Like not picking your calls, and you're like, wait, but we had such a good conversation.
I swear I hate it. It's so frustrating.
Just pick that call and tell me, Charlie, I love, maybe it was a good conversation, but I'm not proceeding, or I got help elsewhere.
That happens everywhere, by the way. Even I experience it.
Yes.
Why are we like this? We just never say no. Yes. They ghost you, they blue tick you, they keep telling you call me next week, and you call them
next
50 weeks later every week, and nothing is happening. I'm like, why are we like this?
Yes.
Right? So it would be so nice if you could just say, that was a lovely conversation, I love what you're doing,
yes,
but I'm not ready at this point in time. When I'm ready, I will reach out to you. That's a polite way to say no.
Yes, or maybe I'm not keen on proceeding anymore, or I got help elsewhere. I got even a better solution elsewhere, which is okay.
It's fine.
Feedback is good. But that thing of ghosting someone, so I don't think I can ever per se outgrow that mourning process. Like for me, it still hits me. It still hits me. But I think what I have learned over time is to have many conversations going on with different clients. Because if you have that one that you are 100% depending on. Now, my motor insurance guy,
yes.
My big high net worth client, my uncle.
And your uncle.
Like, that is your only hope.
Yeah.
You don't close that, you are done. You get. But when you have maybe
a pipeline
conversations going on, and even 3 fall through,
it's fine. Like it's fine, it's okay.
And even the 7 don't have to come in immediately. Some could be immediate. Others could be, let's do this in another 2 months,
So always have a pipeline and continue growing your pipeline as you're closing, so that you never run out of leads.
Yes.
And you're not in that situation where you have this big net worth individual who you're expecting to close so that you pay rent.
Yes.
And then if they don't come through, yes.
And trust me, sometimes the very big ones take time to close.
You have to be patient.
And when you start getting desperate, because you have a payroll cut-off day, they can always wait. They can actually tell.
They can feel it.
So sometimes even just keeping quiet, letting them be, even for 2 months. Sometimes I've even gone for 2 months.
Yes.
And once in a while, I'll do a nice article, say on income protection, not touching on much, and then I'll come across a good article and I'll send them,
You'll forward to them.
I came across this article, I think it will be a good read. Happy reading. Yeah, and then after that, they'll come back. Oh, hi, Mama Bima. You know, so you nudge them
Yes.
a little bit.
You nudge, you don't become annoying.
Yes.
And it almost feels like you're now in my space.
Yes.
Yeah, it feels like now, please don't call me again. At that point, you're blocked.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there are many agents who've been blocked.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
But I think looking back at Charlene when she was starting to now, I have also come to appreciate just time, what time does for us. You know, as long as you're consistent. In one thing, like in the same thing. I remember the time when also I was starting off, I probably had so many things I was trying to do. So I wasn't like 100% sure that I want to do. Yeah, like it's insurance 100%. So I had even registered a customer experience sort of like association. So in an institute of customer experience, you know, and I was
looking for the 191K. Wherever.
I know, right? Yeah, so I had so many things going on at that time, and I had to take a step back and say, yes, I love this. Again, I feel that I'm really good at the customer experience, but if I want to perfect this protection planning aspect of the business that I've gone into, I need to give it my
full focus.
So I became very sort of like almost single focused. You know, I wake up every day. You know, can I build on my product knowledge? You know, can I build on my even sales technique? Can I go and ask, you know, even other colleagues within the business to mentor me? And sometimes I would just, you know, walk into an agency, you know, these top agencies, and get like the lead, you know, principal officer. Well, how do you sell this? Could you teach me? You know, can you accompany me for a meeting?
Many people will happily say yes, imagine.
Oh my,
you'll be surprised. I feel like the issue is most people ask what can I do? Even on my social media, there are many people asking me, what can I do? But that part you have to figure out yourself.
Yes.
The better question to ask is, how can I do this? Now that becomes easier.
Yes.
Because if I come to you and I tell you I'm a new agent, I am looking to sell this particular, can you tell me how? Or rather, show me, handhold me so that I learn how to do. You've already figured out the what.
Yes.
It's now about the how.
Yes.
When you're asking for how, you get a lot of assistance. Many people will help you out.
Yes.
When you ask what, you just seem like you're not ready yet.
Yes.
You're not ready to be actually helped.
Yes.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yes.
Yeah, I've learned that many professionals are quite kind. They'll hold your hand.
Yes.
They'll support you. If you want an introduction, even they'll introduce you. This company? Yeah, I know someone. I'll hook you up.
And to date, even as Mama Bima now, I still do the same. I still go, you know, to Dawit Insurance, and you know, we have Ken Cairo there. I know this is someone who has reached 20 plus years in the business, and he'll not shy away from taking you to his like top clients. And he doesn't even feel threatened.
No.
He'll let you sit in that meeting when they are having insurance conversations.
Yeah.
And you leave there wondering, wow. You know, that spirit of collaboration as opposed. He doesn't even see you as a competitor.
No.
He understands that, yes, you are, you know, maybe much younger in the business. But there's also something he can learn from you.
And imagine the market is big enough for everybody. In fact, as a percentage, how many people are actually consuming or taking up insurance?
Insurance penetration in our country is still at sub 3%. Like
3%.
we've not even hit 3. You get?
Yeah.
And there's this saying in Spanglish. Sitini nagira nyeki.
Yes, I understand.
Like haziwezi malizia nyasi. Like there's enough. And that's what I like to say, even in our business, you get, even within the insurance industry, there's a client who will gel with this agent and may not gel with me as Mama Bima, and it is okay.
It's okay.
You get.
Yeah.
And that's why I never mind. I won't use my platform for somebody to come learn. Like last Friday, we had an activation here at TIA Center. And one of my colleagues, she's my mentee, she actually tells me, so when we met, she tells me, Charlene, you know, I have my good friend, he's called this and this. You had sent him quotes and he's taking with me. So he actually took up the policy this Monday.
Yeah, with someone else. You're the one who sent it. Yeah.
And he took it up with her. Mm-hmm. And that is just life. And I was okay with that.
Okay. It's okay.
Imagine it's okay.
Yeah.
And you see the reason why he took with her, the first thing he told her he wants the policy for Mama Bima. So she was like, so she was spreading him which policy. So he actually shows her, like, Mama Bima had sent me this. Mm-hmm. So she explained it to him very well. Do you get? Like, she took him through the income protection.
They clicked. Basically. They clicked. People buy from people and it's okay. You know,
and it is okay. Yeah. So that thing of hatuwezi maliziana nyasi, there's a client for you, there's a client for me, there's a client for the other agent.
100%.
Just do your part. I think even the education part of now my career, it's also maybe also our way, and it's something I would wish to encourage a lot of my colleagues in the business. Please, let's get out there. Let's put this information online. There's something you said. Educating people is actually a subtle way of also selling.
That's true.
During the days when I've been on social media, I would say they've been my easiest sales years, like my best.
Your best sales years. In fact, that's the question I was going to come to.
Yes.
How did you, sorry to cut you short,
yes.
Let's go back a bit.
Yes.
How did you now identify social media as a platform to your lead generation, and how has that journey been? I know there are many people who admire what you're doing.
Yeah.
They are wondering how did you even get to, just share your journey. You're yes. Online now, Mama Bima online.
This was just after COVID. When the country started opening up a little bit, we would say maybe in July of 2021. And so now we were now coming to the office. We had come back to the office. And that day I went to Yaya Center. And so I was cold prospecting. And I started with the businesses on the ground floor to the topmost floor.
Hold on.
There's no.
Please share with the audience what cold prospecting is. So what is that? What are you doing when you're saying cold prospecting? Cold
prospecting, just calling up on strangers, but now in this case, physically. So cold prospecting could be, I have a list of numbers. These are people who do not know me. Hi, my name is, Mama Bima. This is what I do. I wanted to call to see if we could have a discussion around this. You get? Now, that's cold prospecting on phone. Now, when you're cold prospecting in person, you're literally walking into maybe an eye care shop, introducing yourself. So you have your cards, you're well-dressed, you're polite. So you're thinking, this has to go well. And you hear the central place I've gone to, this is a moneyed area. Like now you can see the younger insurance agent in me, the rookie. So I'm feeling this should work. I went up to the topmost floor and genuinely, you can read the body language. Unfortunately, that's the sad thing. When you're doing this in person, you can
Social media has changed a lot.
Yes.
Because that is not or rather it's not unique to guys who are selling insurance.
Yes.
I've sold software before.
Oof.
And basically,
software
to businesses.
Yes.
Those businesses need my software.
Yes.
Some already have something going. Others have manual systems they're using. But whatever it is that they're using, they didn't call you on that day to go and sell them or talk to them about software.
Yes.
It's in the middle of their day. Right? So you're coming to interrupt their business, the business that pays them to sell your product.
Yes.
So I feel like in my career, that has been the hardest thing to do. When you do it, long enough, it stops becoming hard, but it's still hard.
Yes.
It's hard because I remember going Kirinyaga Road.
Yes. Oh.
and kutoka Globe unateremka,
Yes.
shop by shop by shop.
Yes.
Jua imewaka, you cross the road, you go the other side, you cross this, you go the other side.
Yes.
Prospecting is so difficult.
Yes.
And it's in terms of success, the probability of landing a deal is so low. The amount of work you have to do.
Yes.
So I feel you.
So I go all the way to the top, and the body language told me all I needed to hear. And I went down, I had some money, went into the Java on the ground floor.
So you spent money
And
you didn't
stress
make.
it. I am one of those people. Maybe I will look for sugary stuff. Like, I just went there and stress it. But I had my notebook with me. And I realized I had to figure a different way of doing this business,
Yes.
or else I wouldn't be successful. Like, sometimes the no's, at the point I wasn't into the no means next opportunity. I just knew no is rejection, you know?
Yes.
And that is actually where Mama Bima came from. Like, the need to go into a different route of doing the business and to
How
actually
to generate your leads.
Yes.
Because the amount, again, we go back to input also. You can't
Yes.
just be putting input and looking at the output and it's not making sense.
Yes.
The effort needs to match the result.
Yes.
And if you keep putting in all the effort,
Yes.
because you're showing up, you're walking around, you're talking to everyone, really, anyone who cares to listen. Matatu next, the guy seated next to you, you're already selling them insurance. But it's
was
just
that-
not working. You're not, you're not, babe.
if I sit with you, I will tell you about insurance. I need to pick a town. Yes.
Anashukia Kinoo na alikuwa anaenda Kikuyu. Akuhepe tu.
Yes.
Yeah. So that is not working. So now you're like, okay,
Yes.
something, I have to do this differently.
Yes.
I don't think there's anyone, or if there aren't many people who are doing what you're doing at the time.
At the
For
time,
insurance.
literally there was nobody. I
No
couldn't
one.
find
Yeah.
anyone, you know, that I
Right
could
after
say,
COVID, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was still such a quote unquote like virgin kind of land, you know, and especially within for our industry, where even the topmost, you know, the topmost agents, the traditional way of doing insurance is the door-to-door knocking.
Yes.
That eventually, when you start being successful, then the referrals
Yes.
now start working for you and so on. And I remember when now I started doing it on social media, I got chided a lot by colleagues in the business. And they would laugh at me and say, by the way, that's not how insurance is sold. I would be called, I'm a marketer, I'm not a financial advisor. I had someone who picked issue with me calling myself Mama Bima because I was a rookie. Like, they were so angry I called myself such, in their words, such a big name. Yet I wasn't, you know, and I remember trying, when I got that report, trying to, you know, sort of like justify it. And I'm like, but it's a name I can grow into. Like, one day I will grow and I can actually fit that name, Mama Bima.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I literally there are people who, for lack of a better term, ridiculed me for doing this online.
No.
Now, what is this? 3.5 years later? 4 years later?
Right?
But I'm happy that I stuck with this. I think also my personality, especially at the time. Right now, people see a more confident person. They see a more confident, you know, financial advisor, a more confident insurance agent. At the time, I was too much of an introvert. Like, this whole social media content creation really got me out of my shell. Okay, I was quite introverted. So maybe those kind of, you know, I didn't have that huge personality because I would look at the very successful
You speak
agents.
so softly.
Yeah.
And
Hi.
So
Please, can I touch you? And I'm there fidgeting and
yeah.
so And you would look at some of my colleagues in the business, and they are larger than life, and they laugh and they feel the whole
when they
room with their
go in with their
presence.
presentation, and you can just be like, whoa.
Yes, and you know, you arrive maybe somewhere to do a presentation, mekuja na boda, you know, and this girl is coming and packing a product. And let me tell you, presentation is everything, especially in our business. So in a way, social media somehow packages you, you know, and there's just someone, a person or two who will sort of like click with you, reach out to you, ask for a few quotations, you know, here and there. And then you start having some wins, and you realize, wait, who's that who's laughing at me for doing this?
I know, right?
You continue laughing, like,
yes,
the promise in this, you know. And you move from a point where, you know, my first few months of being on social media, I was the clumsiest person ever. I would be on a Facebook Live, and out of nowhere my camera would drop, because maybe it's even being supported by books. You know,
been there, girl.
You know, with books, maybe lights go off and internet.
Yes.
So I would always be the one coming back. No, just getting back onto Facebook Live again.
I'm so sorry.
Yes, you know.
Yeah.
But I think what that did for me, like, just that resilient spirit of, okay, fine, and the lack of perfectionism, but I'm not a perfectionist. I'm okay with flaws. I'm okay.
Do you know that's the reason most people never start their journeys online?
Yes.
Because they're waiting to be perfect and become that professional they have in their mind. They're waiting to grow into that so that they can show up now as that.
Yes.
Yet we are humans. We will never be perfect. There's not a day that you'll say, now I'm a perfect human. And also, your audience is not demanding for you to be perfect.
Thank you. That's it.
They actually,
no one wants you to be perfect.
Your experience and mine are two different things. I know things that you don't. You know and understand things that I don't. Can we help each other? That's it.
Yes.
But most people are waiting for perfection, and they want to be seen as professionals, and their big lights and their cameras.
Right?
Just take your phone and say something.
Say something. Just clean your camera. Have some, you know, something. Clean it, and just. You don't even need makeup at the time. If you look at my earlier videos,
so
I just appear, you know, with just some Vaseline on my lips.
Yes.
That is what I had. I couldn't go to, you know, to a makeup artist to do my makeup. I didn't even have a makeup, you know, the foundations and everything.
No.
So I would just appear Vilenico. You know?
Yeah.
And literally, if you look at my earlier content, you can actually see where we started. You can see the growth. You know, just the evolved. Change, you know.
How did you feel to make your first sale online? You didn't have to trek 10 kilometers that day. How did it feel?
Oh, let me tell you. It tells you, you know, it's I don't know, it's God's faithfulness finally manifested. Like you see it in person, you're like, this is finally going to happen. So the one thing I believe is God will never lead you into a path where, you know, you won't find either your way out or so I really kept, because it also took time. My earlier days on social media, no one used to comment on my posts.
No one is sharing.
No one was liking. I would post something.
You have 5 likes. So, your husband?
No, out of the 5, 4 are mine.
You have 4 different accounts.
So you post, so you like. Then you go to your Instagram account when you are a young girl, Afro Princess. You go like from there. Then you go to the insurance business page. You like. Then you go to the family page and you're telling them, hi guys, I have just posted. Here's the link. Please click and like. And let me tell you, my mom was, you know, she would come and comment, hi Mama Bima, you're the best insurance agent in Kenya. I am coming back to buy another insurance policy. And I kept telling her, hi Mommy. Mom, they can read your name. Anyone who knows me will know me related.
It's you.
You get?
Yeah.
But that is what, right now I'm fortunate. Yesterday we crossed 24,000 followers on IG.
That's huge. IG is so difficult to grow. Me, I'm just struggling with about 3,000.
And
it's fine.
My social media colleague, my social media support, she was asking me, we just said thank you like last week or so, because we had crossed 23K. Do we need to say thank you again?
Yes.
And I told her, even if in one day we move from 24 and go to 25 and go to 26, we shall say thank you. We can never outgrow that gratitude. Like we need to go and say thank you. Because I remember those days of being under 100 followers.
Yes. And they're hard.
And trusting God that, oh my Lord, can someone just see the work that I'm putting into this?
I'm working so hard. Where are these people?
And you see you've gone to 200 and you're thinking, wow, we are growing. So if you had told that newbie in social media that one day we'd get to 24,000.
Yeah.
So my first sale was, I would say, pre-Mama Bima. So I've left formal employment in October 2019. October 2019. And in December, so one of the ways I started out by reaching out to clients, I first looked to contact my my current relationships, my network, my existing networks. So I would send them, I would do these broadcasts on WhatsApp. Okay, and just tell them, hey, if you're looking for a money market fund, I could help you with this. And of course, I'd do my little graphics, or I'd pick something good from online, and put it there to accompany my message. So I'm good with messaging, by the way. If there's something Mama Bima can do, is right. So, and one of my money market fund clients sent me a contact for her sister. Okay, and she wanted what we call a unit linked product. Okay, and I was able to close a product that literally paid me more than I was earning with my former employer that December of 2019. Let me tell you, I think you've heard how October went, 0 sales.
Yes.
And of course, I'm sure also November was tougher.
Yes.
But by December, by the time we were going for Christmas, my income was higher than what I was earning with my former employer. And that was just like, what would you call it, vindication? Like that was my sign that you are
in the right.
You're in the right field. Yes. You're going to stick through this.
Yes.
Of course, January was nothing like December.
I was gonna ask you that. We were saying yesterday.
Yes.
Making your first, let's say your first million.
Yes.
Is actually not hard. Making $1 million.
Yes.
Every month.
Yes.
Consistently.
Yes.
That's a apple. Apple.
Yes.
You find yourself, you make like $1 million in January,
yes.
Then Feb you're struggling, March you're struggling, April you're struggling. So you've not really made $1 million a month, you've probably made 100 G's a month. You get what I mean?
Yes.
That's true. The hard part. But if you can figure out how to repeatedly make that 1 million.
Yes.
Even call it 100 G's. 100 G's, not hard.
Yes.
100 G's every
month. Yes. Now, of course, my Jan was nothing close to that. My Feb was nothing close to that. And March, the country locked down because of COVID. But somehow, every time I look at that COVID period, so what happened during that time? So I had a young baby, 1.5 years, maybe 1.5 at that point. So you do not want to go out there so that, the fear we had, utarudi na hii ugonjwa nyumbani. So you're just hold in the house. So I really became consistent with the WhatsApp broadcasting. Like I think I was busy spamming people's WhatsApp accounts. But anyway, what else was there to do?
Yeah.
What else
People
did
also
I do?
didn't mind. We didn't have much
at that
to do,
point.
So.
I would send my contacts messages from morning hadi jioni, and just on different products, just educating them. And my call to action would always be, hey, if your motor vehicle is due for renewal, how about you give me an opportunity to show you a competitive quote with what you currently have. So that would always be my call to action. Hey, if you're maybe if you're shopping for a medical cover, how about I do the shopping for you, and I'll show you different quotes from different underwriters. So during COVID, I also started to get, especially like my former colleagues, one colleague who really stands out for me. I remember when I was leaving employment, this gentleman, he took me for coffee. He was one of the heads within our business, and he asked me, Banjiku, you have decided to leave brokerage and you go become a hawker. Explain to me.
Explain it to me.
He was not getting.
Yeah.
Like
a hawker.
How?
I mean, you're selling insurance to your matatu neighbor.
He was so worried for me. He thought I was going through, like a season that I needed someone to shake me out of. But those same people are the ones now who started coming back and saying, wait, Charlene, I need to me a quote. Send me a quote. This is the value.
Yeah.
And those, especially the younger friends, actually started because I know they had existing relationships, but it's almost like they felt they needed to support you to put food on the table. Do you get? So I think the broadcasts really started working, and now, of course, after now I come back and I do that Yaya trip, and I'm like, hey, I need to figure a different way out of this. Now that's where now I felt the urge now to go into mainstream social media. Started out on Facebook, where I would get some decent engagement, but very few conversions. Then I started realizing, so I had never had like an IG presence per se, but then I realized, okay, there's this other platform. So I opened a page there, and of course it took ages to grow. But then when the inquiries started coming in, they were solid.
They're good leads, yeah.
Yes, they were very young. The case sizes were very small, but they were nice small case sizes. It was these young girls, these young moms, and they were willing to give you a chance. They were, most of the girls were actually younger than me, and they would actually take you like an elder sister to them. So the conversations, they're there, they're admiring you, and you're thinking, oh, so they're bringing you back to you. After all these hardships of trying to find your footing in this business, and here comes these girls, you meet with them for a meeting, and you can see the admiration, and you're thinking,
me, I know.
You go back and look at yourself in the mirror, and you're like, okay.
They remind you of the why you were even doing this. You're changing lives.
Yes.
That's why.
Yes.
Yeah.
So now my first sale actually on social media, as we had said, was that big December 2019 sale. And that was, for me, maybe God showing me someday in the future.
Yeah.
This may be the norm.
It's going to look like this.
So just keep going. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Your story is amazing. This conversation, I don't even want it to end. This was really, 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 really nice. Where can people find you?
So we can connect. I'm on every platform. Hata TikTok. My Lord. I'm there trying my best. On TikTok, I'm Mama Bima _KE. On Instagram, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, I am Mama Bima Kenya. You can also find me on just reach out to me on WhatsApp, 0739 040 400, on email. Hopefully we'll drop my email down here. Yes. mamabima@plessis.co.ke. You can also come physically. I love the physical visits. I think right now with social media, a lot of our conversations are really online. So I really treasure the few clients who are able to make time. You come. In our office, we have overflowing tea. What kosi chai, na mandazi, depending on what you like, please just come. We are in Kilimani along Chaka Road. Yes.
Fantastic. Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh man, this was therapy. for both of us.
I think I'm crying so much.
I was just about to start crying with you because I relate to your journey. I see your resilience. I see that like you refuse to give up.
Yes.
And that's what you need to do if you're watching us and you've just started something and maybe it's not working. Review your product. Find out if it's the right product for the market you're serving. If it's not, change the product or change your market segment. Whatever you need, just change, but don't give up.
Yes.
That's the thing we refuse.
Yes.
Right?
Not giving up, by the way.
Pivot,
Yes.
improve,
Yes.
repeat.
Yes. Press repeat.
Press repeat. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mama Bima.
Thank
Charlene,
you, Anne, for having me.
And I hope this conversation gave you just a little bit more courage to fail forward and achieve your dreams. Don't be afraid. Give yourself permission to try. And when you try, you might succeed or you might fail, and it's okay. If you fail, try again. Press repeat.
Yes.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.